Good evening, I'm Sarah Sapsanamma. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal says preparations underway for allowances to senior journalists and those with disability, urges all against mis- and disinformation. Gandaki Provincial Assembly meeting called for Sunday. Chief Minister Khagaraj Adhikari scheduled to take the vote of confidence. Turkey suspends all trade with Israel over its offensive in Gaza, citing worst humanitarian tragedy in the Strip. Trade between the two nations was almost worth $7 billion last year. And breakdancing ready for its limelight, the sport to debut at the upcoming Paris Olympics. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal has said that the government has made preparations to arrange allowances for journalists of old age and those with disabilities. Addressing a program organized to mark the 27th General Convention of the Federation of Nepali Journalists, Premier Dahal said that the government was always positive regarding the rights of the journalists. Prime Minister Dahal added that the government had considered the media sector as a national service-oriented industry and had embraced policies for its protection and promotion to ensure professional and organizational development. He further noted that the government was working on ensuring fair distribution of all government advertisements. The Premier said that a training academy would be established for capacity enhancement of the journalists. Working journalists would be brought under social security and topics including advertisements and insurance would be prioritized. He also urged the media organizations not to spread fake news, misinformation and disinformation. Meanwhile, the annual report made public by the FNJ today notes that 62 incidents of violation of press freedom were reported last year. A total of 168 journalists were the victims of those incidents. Prior to this, a morning rally was organized to mark the 31st World Press Freedom Day, which was led by the FNJ. Earlier, President Ramchandra Paudel had extended greetings on the occasion of the day and had said that independent and unbiased journalism was a mandatory requisite for democracy. Paudel also appreciated the role of Nepali press for establishment of federal democratic republicanism in the country. Gandaki Province Assembly meeting has been called for Sunday, where Chief Minister Khagaraj Adhikari is scheduled to seek the vote of confidence. According to Province Assembly Speaker Krishna Dhital, Chief Minister Adhikari had furnished a notice regarding seeking the vote of confidence on 5th of May. A meeting of the Province Assembly was called prior to this for the trust vote. However, as a case against him is under consideration at the Supreme Court, Province Assembly members of the opposition did not attend the meeting, because of which the required proceedings had not moved forward. As the Supreme Court has now granted legitimacy to Adhikari, he is to seek the vote of confidence. As per the constitutional provision, Adhikari must generate a vote of confidence by 6th of May. Incidents of fire have increased in the mountainous district Solukhumbu this year. Drought, in the absence of rainfall, coupled with the wildfire entering the human settlements, has destroyed dozens of houses, with many families without a shelter. Massive damages have been reported in Thulung Dudkosi Rural Municipality and Necha Salyan Rural Municipality of the district. Wildfires have been reported in dozens of community forests of Solukhumbu. Fire caused by human carelessness has spread from one place to another and destroyed a large area of forest, while dozens of families have lost their homes and properties. While wildfires in previous years were contained in the forest, the blazes have spread to human settlements this time. 5 houses were burnt to ashes in Deupuje of Necha Salyan Rural Municipality, while 10 houses suffered damages in Thulung Dudkosi Rural Municipality, Ward Number 3, Panchan. The local residents have been at the receiving end as they have lost their houses built with their life savings. The forests have destroyed the houses, food grains and jewelries, with a single family suffering losses of around 500,000 rupees. Despite the local government and stakeholders arranging relief resources, they have been inadequate. The investigative officers and security departments have not been able to identify the exact reason for the wildfires in so many parts of the districts. Teams of Nepal Police and Nepal Army have been deployed to extinguish the wildfires in the district. However, efforts have been facing challenges due to absence of resources in rural parts. Police data has shown that around 100 ropenis of forest area is being destroyed by wildfire every day on average. It is time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, massive losses are being caused by wildfires across the country. Why has the government not been able to take effective steps to control the wildfires? Your options are A, heights of irresponsibility, B, lack of coordination, and C, no preventive measures. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Welcome back. It's time now for international update. Turkey will not resume trade with Israel, worth around $7 billion a year, until a permanent ceasefire is secured in Gaza, with unhindered humanitarian aid flowing to Palestinians there. Israel's uncompromising attitude and the worsening situation in Gaza prompted Turkey to halt the trade, Ömer Bolat said in a speech in Istanbul while announcing April trade figures. Turkey's decision made it the first of Israel's key trade partners to halt exports and imports over its military campaign in Gaza. Israel's Foreign Minister, Israel Katz, criticized Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan's move, saying it breaks international trade agreements and was how a dictator behaves, as per him. Militant group Hamas, which controls Gaza, praised the decision as brave and supportive of Palestinian rights. Last month, Turkey curbed exports of steel, fertilizer and jet fuel among 54 products over what it said was Israel's refusal to allow Ankara to take part in aid airdrop operations for Gaza. All remaining trade, which amounted to $5.4 billion in Turkish exports and $1.6 billion in Israeli imports last year, will now be halted. Top Turkish exports to Israel are steel, vehicles, plastics, electrical devices and machinery, while imports are dominated by fuels at $634 million last year, Turkish trade data show. Now, Palestinians surged through rubble of a destroyed building today following an Israeli strike in Rafah, which killed several people, according to residents. A displaced man who's staying near the targeted location said that everyone inside the building had been killed.
كنا قاعدين في امان الله فجأة سمعنا صوت قصف جدا عالي وطلعنا نشوف القصف لقيناه جنب جيراننا فلقينا الدنيا الدار كله البيت متهدم بسبب الصواريخ كمية الصواريخ الكبيرة اللي نزلت على البيت أدت إلى إشلاء يعني الناس كلها اللي فيها توفت أصحاب البيت كلهم الأطفال والنساء كلهم استشهدوا يعني قعدنا نشيل في الأشلاء يعني قطع لحم في الشارع مرمية قعدنا نشيل فيها ونوديها على الإسعاف يعني المشهد جدا صعب لا بنوصفش المشهد هذا على أساس إنها المنطقة الآن في رفح وجينا نزحنا عليها وعشا فاضي يعني هي القتل فيها حتى في المدنيين في الأطفال قاعدين بموتوا يعني أطفال قاعدين في بيتهم نايمين مصممين فيش إشي فجأة يجي القصف وتموت بدون أي سبب بدون سابق أي إنذار.
Israel's military operation in Gaza was triggered by Hamas's October 7 attack, which by its tallies killed 1,200 with 253 taken hostage. The subsequent Israeli bombardment has killed more than 34,000 Palestinians, according to Palestinian medics, and displaced the majority of Gaza's 2.3 million population. Police moved against pro-Palestinian protesters at Portland State University, clearing a library that was a major part of the demonstration movement. The police entered the Portland State University library on Thursday morning, where demonstrators had barricaded themselves since Monday. Several dozen protesters ran out of the building and rushed into a phalanx of officers in riot gear who arrested them. Police made more arrests later on Thursday night as demonstrators attempted to retake it. A university spokesman said it was a very fluid situation. China has launched an uncrewed spacecraft on a nearly 2-month mission to retrieve rocks and soil from the far side of the moon, the first country to make such an ambitious attempt. The Long March 5, China's largest rocket, blasted off at 5:27 p.m. Beijing time from Wenchang Space Launch Center on the southern island of Hainan, with a more than 8 metric ton Chandra's 6 probe. Chandra 6 is tasked with landing in the South Pole Aitken Basin on the far side of the moon, which perpetually faces away from the Earth, after which it will retrieve and return samples. The launch marks another milestone in China's lunar and space exploration program. Now, a German space company has said a rocket fueled using paraffin, commonly known as candle wax, was launched from an Australian base today. German space tech startup Wildfires said in a statement they successfully launched the 12-meter-long, 2.5-ton single-stage rocket SR-75, which carries small satellite weighing up to 250 kilograms to a height of 250 kilometers. The company says paraffin-based fuel is significantly cheaper than standard liquid or solid fuels, adding it is much safer to use. Wildfires added that the event marked the first launch of a commercially viable launch vehicle by a German company and said the rocket would be recovered from examination and data analysis. Britain's opposition Labour Party won a parliamentary seat in Northern England and control of several councils, inflicting heavy losses on the government Conservatives to pile more pressure on Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Blackpool South was the only parliamentary seat up for grabs after the Conservative lawmaker quit over a lobbying scandal. Labour candidate Chris Webb won the Blackpool election with 10,825 votes. The Conservative candidate came in second with 3,218. The swing of 26% to Labour from the 2019 result was the third biggest in post-war by-election history, polling experts say. The defeat in Blackpool and early signs of deep losses at the council level will boost Labour's hopes for a sweeping victory over Sunak's Conservative in the national election. Labour leader Keir Starmer said the Blackpool result was a message sent directly to Sunak that Britain was fed up with their decline, their chaos and the division, and that they want change. The thumping victory set the tone for what will be a closely watched 2 days of local results before a national election this year, which polling shows could put Starmer in power and end 14 years of Conservative government. Voters cast their ballots on Thursday for more than 2,000 seats on local authorities across England and a handful of high-profile mayoral elections, including in the capital, London. Emergency services and residents started to clear up the damage left by severe weather in southwestern parts of Germany this morning after overnight thunderstorms, heavy rainfall and hail left many streets and basements flooded. Several sunny days and summer temperatures were followed by thunderstorms hitting the city of Frankfurt and surrounding regions from late Thursday, with up to 50 liters of rain per square meter coming down within a few hours in some places, also damaging several cars. According to the German Weather Service, the weather will largely calm down in southwest Germany on Friday. However, individual thunderstorms with heavy rain and storms are possible for tomorrow evening. Villagers in the North 24 Parganas district of India's West Bengal state were facing a severe water shortage as an intense heat wave scorched the area, drying up most water sources. Many of the wells where villagers typically source the water have dried up and become non-functional, except for one remaining pump to which some have to walk multiple kilometers to reach, according to local. They add that the primary source of water for the area, a large pond, was drying up and levels were only ankle deep. With most part of India reading from high temperatures, the Weather Department has forecast an unusually high number of heat wave days for April to June, with the Gangetic Bengal Plains, where the North 24 Parganas district is located, being some of the most severely affected regions. Breakdancing is synonymous with hip-hop, beatboxing and graffiti and has been deeply integrated with the underground music scene forever. Now, 32 breakdancers will be going head-to-head for international recognition at the Paris Olympics on 9th of August to the 10th as the sport debuts at the event. For the first time, there will be competitions in breaking at the 2024 Summer Olympics And the two women, known as B-girls, have a chance of representing Germany in the discipline.
Generally, I think it's a great idea. It's a great platform for us to represent our passion, our sport, what we do, and motivate people to maybe even start breaking. On the other hand, I think it's super important that me as an ambassador, as an athlete of my sports, that I represent my culture the way it's supposed to be. That it's not about winning the big trophies. It's not about being alone in your little studio and performing alone on stage, but it's about the communication, it's about getting together, it's about the fun and loving what you do and representing yourself and being yourself.
For the two, Julo and Pauline, breaking is a way of life and exchange with people. Both athletes believe it is essential to preserve the spirit of the subculture, which has its roots in 1970s hip-hop in the New York Bronx.
I think breaking is a lot of fun because it's very free. So you can choose your expertise, you can choose to be very musical, choose to be very athletic. Also, you make friends around the world, and that's like, I think that's the most valuable thing. You always meet breakers, also through other people. You might not know people from Madrid, but you can write like some person who is Spanish and say, hey, look, I'm going to be in Madrid for this and this date. Do you know people I can train with? And then you become friends very fast, and then you know local people can show you around, explain the culture. So that part is, I think, super nice about breaking.
A total of 16 B-boys and 16 B-girls will be showing their skills in Paris. Whether Julo and Pauline will be among them will be decided at the Olympic Qualifier Series, which will take place from May 16 to 19 in Shanghai and from June 20 to 23rd in Budapest. There are still 40 B-boys and 40 B-girls in the running. Julo is a two-time German champion, winning 2023 and in 2021, and has won World Championship bronze twice. Pauline won the German silver medal in 2023. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.